What is going on, everybody? It's me, Severin7, and today I have a surprise for you. Naya surprise featuring the mother of machines herself, Elesh Norn. Elesh Norn is very well poised in this meta right now, and this deck is very well poised in this meta right now, and I've been having great results with it so far, but we're going to put it through a full 40 games. But before we do that, let's get into that deck list. Alright, here we are, Naya surprise. Our game plan is simple. We play some land worlds, we play some scrap goers, we play some overlords, we ramp a whole bunch, and then we either cast our big fat fatties on their own, or we do it at instant speed with Smuggler Surprise. Smuggler Surprise has and always will be one of my favorite green cards printed in recent history. I love the card. I love being able to sneak in a whole bunch of crazy stuff on our opponent's turn. It helps us against those control decks when, you know, they're keeping counters up. We can Smuggler Surprise on their turn, and if they don't have a counter, we either win on the following turn, or if they do have a counter, then we can just cast another one or cast one of our big things after they've had to waste their counter on their turn, especially since we are typically casting Smuggler Surprise on like turn 4 or 5. Easy. What are we doing with Smuggler Surprise? Well, we've got Terror of the Peaks to help combo with things like Overlord of the Mistmorge and Overlord of the Boiler Bilges for a whole bunch of damage at once. We also have a single Calamity Galloping Inferno because there's an basically OTK with Terror of the Peaks. If you have this on the battlefield and then you play Calamity, or if you can Smuggler Surprise them onto the battlefield at the same time, when you saddle Calamity with Terror of the Peaks, you will make 2 copies of Terror of the Peaks, dealing 15 damage from enters the battlefield triggers, as well as having 2 terrors attacking in the air and 4 from Calamity on the ground, which will usually be enough to kill your opponent. We've also got a couple of Atalis in the list to help get things out of our deck and get things out of our opponent's deck, since we are very top heavy. And then what are we doing a little bit differently this time? It's Mom. Elesh Norn, Mother of Machines. I feel like this card is so good in the meta right now. I don't want to play more than 2, but 2 feels like a sweet spot. We can play her on like turn 3 sometimes, and it absolutely shuts down entire decks. It shuts down Esper Pixie. I mean, obviously this town ain't big enough, can't get rid of it, but all of the enters the battlefield effects from all their enchantments don't work on Elesh Norn, so if they're hoping to get rid of it with an edict effect from one of their enchantments, it doesn't work. It shuts down the Disturbing Mirth decks. It shuts down a whole bunch of, it shuts down overlords. Like if you're playing against domain overlords, it shuts down all their triggers and doubles up all our triggers, which is really awesome. So Elesh Norn, Mother of Machines, feels really good in the meta right now. We've got 3 Get Lost, 2 Abrades, and 2 Paw Patch formations in the removal slots. I think that Paw Patch formation might be one of the best poised removal spells in the format right now. Just the fact that we can get rid of problematic flyers for just 2 mana, get rid of enchantments for 2 mana, all at instant speed, and then if we don't need it, we can basically cycle it and get some life gain out of it, which is quite useful against those pesky mono red decks. And then we have a Naya mana base, a couple of Fable Passages so that we can fetch the basics that we need, 1 single Restless Urge line so that we do have some amount of hope if our opponent wipes our board. And that's the deck. It's a ton of fun. It's explosive. There's nothing more fun than just winning on our opponent's instep, basically, with Smuggler Surprise. And it's just an awesome spell, and there's basically no new cards in this list, I won't lie, other than, no, I don't even think the Verges are new. So this doesn't require anything new from Aether Drift, so if you're running low on Aether Drift cards, or you just don't like the Aether Drift cards, this is a really great deck, because most people have these Overlords because they are just absolute houses in the format, and a lot of people will have a couple of Elesh Norns and a couple of Atalis laying around, so the likelihood is you will have a lot of this already, since most of these cards are old. So let's put this through 40 games and see how many of our opponents we can surprise to death. Alright, I got a surprise for you, Mr. or Mrs. Cross. Opponent's going first. That's never fun for us, but we'll take it anyway. Mountain. Heartfire Hero. Alright. Down Atlanta World. See how quick they are. Another Heartfire Hero. And a shot. Well, I guess I could have asked for worse, right? Get down a Scrap Forger. hold mouse, of course. They never don't have it, right? Okay, they don't have any pump spells in hand, though. That's good to know. I was gonna play Overlord, but I don't think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna save it for this Heartfire hero that he gives double strike to. It's already combat, so we can't put a counter on the other Heartfire hero or anything. Do it now, which is obnoxious. Monstrous Rage on top, fantastic. The Screaming Nemesis. Alright, well, that was a really good draw for us, so... Get a forest, and then no attacks, and we'll plan on Smuggler surprising in these two overlords. We're gonna take a bunch of damage from it anyway. Oh! I messed up. No, I didn't. This should prompt him to use the Monstrous Rage, and then we get rid of the Heartfire hero. Okay. Add a green. He wants to get that damage through, he's got to do it. All right, beautiful. Boom, boom. Overlord gets rid of Heartfire hero. We take 4 anyway, but it's a lot less than we were gonna take. Now we're down to 6. I want to get to land with that last map. Iron Claw. Yep. Block. Take 1. Play Atlanta Worlds. Get in. 4. And then GG. We beat Mono Red. Nice. Windfall. All right. See if we can surprise this opponent. Ooh, we got Mom this time. I like Mom. This is a good hand. We got elves. We've got a 2-drop ramp just in case our opponent says they don't like our elves. Yavimaya Coast. Oh, right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get in our Hauntwoods here. Am I gonna bounce our elves? Okay. We can resolve Mom against defend the rider. What? Interesting. Combat research? Okay. Not quite sure what's going on here. 10 out of 10 confused. Let's go get a green mana. Play Mom. I don't know if they have anything that Mom stops, but ethereal armor, okay. Ethereal armor again. That is something. We just took 7. Well, if they're playing sheltered with ghosts, though, that doesn't work. So that's positive, right? All right, so let's play Scrap Forger, and then we'll plan on playing a Tali next turn. Well, we might not be able to actually. We might have to block. Frustrating. I'm just gonna take the 9. He finds a way to give it flying. That's the end anyway, and I need to cast a Tali this turn. Cool, I can cast it without having to tap all my stuff. Alright, give me some goodies. Not really. Paw patch formation I'll take. Destroy one of the ethereal armors. Oh wait, hold on. All right. Get in with Mom. I don't know what they've got. They could easily have a way to get past all this. I mean, if they're playing Feather of Flight, we've got Ruin Lurker Bat to block. And we should be able to win on the crackback. We're getting our Overlord off impending this turn. Any enchantment-based removal they're using won't work. They need a way to give it trample. They are playing green, so it's not like they can't. Okay, we got them. GG. I'm ready. It's nerdy. Nerdy. Trying to get to me. Oh, I'm nerdy. We get to go first. I like this hand. We'll try it. It's a little slow. I'd love to have Llanowar Elves, but I believe in us. I believe in the heart of the beholder. Opponent's taken a few extra moments to decide whether their hand is worthy. You can do it, opponent. I believe in you. There we go. All right. Pass the turn. Razor Verge ticket for the opponent. It's Wabbits. All right. Are we fast enough to beat Wabbits? That is the question. We most certainly can be fast enough to beat Wabbits. I'm gonna play Scrap Forger first here, since that gives us the best chance of blocking Warren Guard this turn. Valley Quest Caller. Alright, Copperline Gorge. And Overlord. Alright. Gotta draw some good stuff to do with our Smuggler surprise now. Off Patrick Root. They're building up a board. Nothing too super scary just yet. Nothing that we can't deal with yet, anyway. I mean, any Overlord off the top is probably enough to swing things back in our favor. We can just cast it. Or we can do it at instant speed on their turn. That was not what I was looking for, unfortunately. Alright. Valley Might Caller. Thankfully, that is coming much later in the game than would have been helpful for them. Another Quest Caller. Alright, that's a problem. Let's draw a card. Make a food. It's a land. Alright. How much mana do we have next turn? We just gotta live through this turn, but unfortunately... So 5, 8, 9, 10, 11... So we live with this. What are the odds that we can actually do what we want to do next turn? I'm just gonna take this and take a risk. Go to 2. That was a good draw. Let's thin the deck. Increase our odds of not hitting a bunch of lands off the Smuggler surprise. Alright. So I think our best bet is to do this now. As much as I want to do it surprise time, I don't think it's the right way. So come on. Alright, there's some good stuff. Overlord, Plains. Overlord, Overlord. Let's hit the Quest Caller. It still might not be enough. He should have put the counters on Tramplers, but he didn't. So now we got a little bit of hope. No, we take 2 damage no matter what. Ah, man, so close. We wouldn't have been able to dig and do our thing, though. Oh well. It's Wabbit season, man. Bronco Boogie. All right, you better be playing Caustic Bronco on your deck. I'm gonna be very disappointed. Opponent's going first. This is a little risky for us. They're playing black. We're probably not keeping our elf. It's a swamp and a gas guzzler. All right. See if our elf lives. Opponent's gonna get in. We are not gonna block. Our mana is precious to us. It's precious, I say. Looks like they do have some kind of removal or something. Yep. Of course they do. Alright, well, we gotta go get a forest with this Fabled Passage and hope that we can still ramp fast enough. Forest. Alright, well, at the very least, next turn I can get an Overlord of the Mistmoors down and kind of slow them down a little bit. See how fast their turn is. Maybe they'll just sacrifice this Percussionist and try to draw 2 cards. Hopeless Nightmare. Sure. Getting painful. This should protect us for a turn or two, though, maybe. Momentum breaker. Alright. Hopefully that's their whole turn, though. We'll just go ahead and take that. Mom is a great draw. Alright, if we can just survive a turn or two and get this Calamity going with these Overlords, we should be in good shape. See if they have actual hard removal. That doesn't work. Mom shuts like your entire deck off. You need hard removal, sir. She's so good in this meta right now. Like, so good. Oh my goodness, what a draw. I'll take 4 Moths, please. And the next turn I play Calamity and make double Overlords. Even if they have removal for her, at this point it's too late. She's already done her job. She has already done the damage. Alright, GG opponent. That's a lot of damage. This is such a fun deck. I'm having such a blast with this. If Mom were still around, we would have gotten 8 tokens. And then we still have an Overlord coming off and pending. Oh! The amount of value is ridiculous. Do they actually live 10? They do. They live by 1 through this. That should still be game. It should be pretty hard for them to deal 6 damage. Oh, they just killed themselves with their sulfur springs. They were gonna live if they just didn't sacrifice the stuff. And I don't think it would have mattered, but still. Alright. Ready! Oh, Big Daddy 88. I played them in the last video. Back for some more, are ya? This is a sweet hand. Turn 1 elf, turn 2 gorger. Even if they get rid of the elf, we can still play gorger, which is nice. That's why it's nice to have some 2-mana ramp creatures in the list, even if you are playing elves. A lot of blacklists running around right now, and a lot of them don't let our poor little elves live through the turn. Mountain doesn't bode well. Okay, Heartfire Hero. No attacks. Alright, so if they don't interact with our board, we just win in 2 turns. So can they kill us in 2 turns? And that's 4 damage. We're not gonna block. Alright. Terror. Now they do play Witchstalker Frenzy, so it's not like they can't get rid of that. But if they don't get rid of it and they can't produce 16 damage this turn, how much would they need? So it's gonna go up to 3. Monstrous Rage takes it to 6. So 12, 13, and a Lightning Strike. Emberheart Challenger doesn't do it. And now they can't cast non-creature spells. The auto tapper messed them up, so that means they have a lot of creatures in hand anyway. So this is a nice, quick, easy combo win at least. When it gets in, we take our beats. One plays Hired Claw. We play this. We play Calamity. Hang them in the face. Battle Calamity with Terror. Attack. Make 2 more terrors. 1, 2, 3 to the face. And then the damage. Easy game. GG. Penguin. Like penguin, but penguin. Not gonna let you pwn me. Opponent goes first. This isn't bad enough to put back. We'll keep. Oh, I should have put it back. Of course they have the mouse on turn 1. Alright. We have an Abrade. We're gonna have to slow down a little bit to deal with this. Manifold Mouse? No? Okay. Swifty. Monstrous Rage, yep. Big Roar. Take the 3, down to 10. Hired Claw. Throw the Hired Claw? Well, that was probably the best thing we could have hoped for in this particular scenario. That means he didn't have any pump or burn, I don't think. So I'm gonna take a risk here and play this and hope I can maybe block Swift Spear this turn. If he's got burn, he's got burn. That's fine. We're at 5. Alright, we play Overlord. That gives us a solid blocker. If he has a land, I think we're dead no matter what. No, because... No, we are, because the Hired Claw... Oh, lightning strike our face? Okay. Does he have another burn spell? Of course. Oh, well, we tried. On the draw against mono red, just never gonna happen. Des Nukem. I played them in my last video too. What are you guys all still doing here? This is awkward. And they're on the play. We're gonna keep it in the hopes that we draw an untapped land of some kind. It's mono red again. Goblins this time though. Alright, Horde Master. That was fortunate. Taking the risk. We just gotta be fast. We gotta build a board faster than they do. House squad heavy, boy. Looking rough. Alright, here's hoping that they don't just immediately nuke us with Krenko. If they don't nuke us with Krenko, we've got a chance. Scamp. Tear Slicer Goblin. Alright, we're in trouble. They're only getting in with the one goblin? Really? Alright, let's block them. Can we draw an untapped land? Actually, I would really like to draw... Okay, that's not it. What's the play here? Okay, that significantly reduces their firepower. Opponent threw it at our Overlord instead of our Llanowar for some reason. Adaptive Automaton gives them back their buff. Got a block. We're at 7. They get a goblin. Smuggler surprise, thank goodness. Alright, let's see if they do anything here. They are gonna block. Alright, I'm just gonna do this on their turn. Smuggler Surprise was exactly what we needed. House Squad Heavy, sure. And a Fanatical Firebrand, sure. Opponent says GG. They don't know what's about to happen to them. Let's let them commit to the attack first. I feel like people have forgotten about this card. Alright, so block, 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 block. Nothing is unblocked, right? Cool. Not GG. Nifty. Let's play Atali. Never give the early GGs. All right, and we're back for the post-game wrap. So, 40 games, 65%. Not bad at all for a mid-range deck especially. But this mid-range deck is a lot of fun, and it is definitely very resilient because of the fact that we can do so much on our opponent's end step. Unlike a lot of other mid-range decks, being able to just put huge threats into the battlefield at our opponent's end step for 6 mana, cheating on tons and tons of mana is just incredible. So this deck is the most fun I have winning. I love this deck's win condition more than anything. Smuggler Surprise, I'm glad this card will be around for a long time, and I can't wait to see how many more cards we get in the future to cheat in with it. But for right now, I feel like this is one of the best lists we can do with it. We had a fair matchup against Mono Red, which was a majority of my matchups. So the fact that we can go 50-50 with them when we are such a slow deck is very good. And it's a good sign for any mid-range deck to be able to go 50-50 with Mono Red, in my opinion. And then we were 5-1 against Mono Black, so very good against the Mono Black discard, demons lists, whatever. And that's actually pretty surprising considering that, you know, if our opponent can just remove our ramp, that a lot of times we just kind of fold. But I found that the deck was resilient enough and we had enough ramp that even if our opponent removed 1 or 2 of our ramp pieces, we were still able to get there. And the fact that our overlords all have alternative costs makes them much better, since we can cast Overlord of the Mistmores for 4, same with Boiler Villages, same with our Overlord of the Hotwoods. So we have a much more reasonable plan. We don't need the ramp because we can spend our early turns removing things if we need to. Cast a couple of our Overlords on Impending. They are just sitting there waiting to turn into creatures later. And then we eventually have enough mana to cast our Overlords for their full cost, or play an Atali or something and just win from there. So we did well against those decks. Did well against Orzhov. Pretty much everything else we did pretty well against. And surprisingly, if you look at this number here, we had a 74% win rate on the draw. That's really nice. Like, being able to have a little bit of confidence that you losing the coin flip is not going to cost you the game is very good feeling. So this deck is really awesome. I highly recommend it. I'm sure you probably have a lot of this already laying around since there are no new cards in the list at all. So if you just hate Aether Drift and you want to play something fun and you've got all this laying around, this is a really good deck in the current meta. And I had a blast with it. So if you think this is a cool deck and you had fun watching me play it, I hope that you'll take a quick moment to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get to 1K subscribers. I'll catch you in the next one.